We're less than a week into the college season, but there's already been a ton of fun performances across the country and internationally as well. So we'll run through our preseason, early season scouting notes on some of these key prospects.
You are Locked On Women's Basketball, your daily podcast on women's basketball.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome. You are Locked On Women's Basketball. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you listen to the podcast and on YouTube. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to win $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Also, if you haven't heard already from one of our weekday shows, Locked On Women's Basketball now has a daily newsletter, a one-stop shop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at lockedondaily.com. That's lockedondaily.com, and start your day with the all-new Locked On Women's Basketball newsletter. That said, my name is Hunter Cruse. I'm your Saturday host covering the WNBA draft and prospect scouting. Today I'm joined by my co-hosts Emily Adler and Lincoln Shafer. Emily covers the draft with a focus on player development in the game within the game. Lincoln also contributes to our draft coverage here at The Next and Locked On Women's Basketball. So to kick it off in segment one, let's start with the players we are kind of coming into this season with not many notes on in the freshmen. We saw them play at Hoop Summit, McDonald's All-American, but besides that, this is kind of our first kind of experience watching them play.
I don't watch high schoolers outside the World Hoop Summit.
That's what I'm saying. So outside of that, that's our only games we've watched to them.
That's fair. Have I ever watched a Silas Short? We can take over.
Silas Swords. I never watched Silas Swords in high school. I did watch a couple other high school players, like Timea Gardner and Malaysia Wiley, but
I've watched some mixtapes.
Yeah, the mixtapes are fun. Yeah, Silas Swords is definitely the freshman that is catching eyeballs. She had 27 and 12 against the
I don't like that phrase.
Undefeated national champions. Yeah, they're flying at her. She's just hand up. It's like that scene in the first Star Wars movie with Luke and the lightsaber.
She does have a hell of a first step.
Yeah, and she played again tonight against Lehigh on Friday night as we're recording. Had 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists on 8 of 15 shooting.
So wait, so you're saying she's better against South Carolina than Lehigh? Is South Carolina not good?
Maybe South Carolina is not as good as Lehigh.
Maybe she's just an absolute gamer.
Maybe, yeah.
Our first gamer prospect.
Super impressive.
Agreed. Yeah, I mean, I was saying this to a Michigan fan, shout out Ace and Inventor, but, you know, obviously, if you watch the Michigan-South Carolina game, as the announcers were talking about the entire game, the Michigan trio of freshmen is something really fun. And obviously, I think you see flashes with Mia Holloway. You see things with Olivia Olson that are, you know, she, I think, is going to be a very good player just based on some of the flashes we saw there. But there is a difference between looking at a freshman's first game against an elite college team being like, okay, you know, this is the flashes, this is the makings of like a good player, versus what you see with Silas Swords, which is, that's the kind of, and I think we finally have enough of experience under our belts to say this, that's the kind of game where when you watch it, you say, oh, this is the first game a player played at this level, and it was against like the best defense in the country. This is the kind of performance and just overall what the tape looks like, where we look at it and say, yes, this is what a special player looked like when they were 18 and played their first college game. Not saying that she will be, but my God, there's a lot there.
You can't really start much better.
No.
like to put up the numbers that she did and the kind of scoring that she was doing against that defense, that team, is just truly absurd. Hunter, I think you watched some other freshmen.
One thing I last want to mention on Sila was she was born in 2006. 2006. She was born in 2006 and played 15 minutes against Australia. That's crazy.
I didn't know that
15 minutes
was
against Australia at the Olympics. She also played 10 against France, 19 against Nigeria. She did this as like an 18-year-old. So she did play some competition over the summer, had some moments. The experience is obviously there. So curious to see where her development goes. The other freshman for me was Jelani Cambridge at Ohio State. They played a couple of bad teams, but my early takeaway was Ohio State, Kevin McGuff is going from having the best transition player in the country in JC Sheldon to maybe the next best transition player. She scored 20 points in transition in her first game. And these weren't just open court transition where it's like a steal pressing. This was her in semi-transition. 3 players are back on defense, and she just beats all of them down the court. She's incredible for me.
See, I understand what you're saying, but for me, it's the same principle as with Sarah Strong playing Boston College. Well,
Yeah.
or not Boston College. That's
Just
different.
Boston.
University. Who honestly, they might not be that different off in quality in recent years. Actually, Boston University was actually the better team the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Not
Shout
this
out
year.
to Caitlin Weimar.
Exactly. Hashtag, I don't know why I started that off with hashtag.
Yeah.
Anyway, she's at NC State now. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ACC remains. Yeah, anyway. It's a great episode on my end. It's the same principle for me as with Sarah Strong against Boston University, which is like, I'm okay watching a good team against a bad team, but like, I'm not going to have any takeaways from like a top 20 player playing a low major college, and not just a low major college,
Right.
like a bottom third of a low major conference.
Yeah.
I think it's the same principle, and we're going to touch on internationals later. It's the same principle as like, when I want to see what our fan is like doing against legitimate competition, I'm going to watch her against Caddy Lasso. I'm not going to watch her against like the bottom of
The Netherlands.
the LF. The what?
I was just talking. She played against the Netherlands team. That's
Yeah.
how it's spelled.
Right, thank you. It's the same principle. I watched I watched UC Osite against Belgium because Belgium is starting 3 WNBA players,
Right.
and they have multiple other WNBA picks in the top of their rotation. That's one thing. I'm not watching OFM against a bunch of players, one of whom I think got invited to camp.
Yeah. Other freshman who's impressed me in flashes through the first couple games, including the exhibition games, is Joyce Edwards at South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
She's a value-added passer as a freshman big, which is
Sure.
not a super common thing that happens. She's very fun. She's going to be very fun paired with Chloe Kitts when they play together. I think those lineups create a lot of very interesting things that South Carolina can do offensively. And I will be very excited to watch the rest of their season.
Yeah, it's the way that South Carolina can go like 4.5 out while still maintaining a brand of ethical hoops. Moving on from that, Joyce Edwards. Yeah, I honestly hadn't seen the passing as much, but I take your word for it. For me, her defensive mobility is so good, and we kind of saw this. I think we watched U17s last summer. They played a couple of French teams that we were taking scout on. They played against UCite, which was interesting. No, someone else. Was it UCite? Or was it Spain? Who cares? They played against some combination thereof. And that was, I think, we saw flashes of her there. The defensive mobility here, her ability to switch and really hold up on the drive and be as disruptive as she is. Ball pressure at the point of attack, ball pressure on the drive. I think that bodes really well, even if we're not seeing, full actual switching. These are the kinds of things you want to see from someone to say, hey, they can actually like not just hold their own, but actually create disruption and defensive playmaking. And it's unsurprising that a South Carolina big would be able to do that. But it's still really cool. Hunter, do we have a wingspan?
I was about to say that'll be a project for me in 4 months.
Time flies, man. Time flies. Wait, if we did, I'd have it here.
I don't think we do.
Why?
But
Nope, we don't.
I'm interested to see just as far as like if she's a 4, can she like develop some type of jump shot? Where does that go? Being 6'2", but I think like you said, the tools defensively. Lincoln mentioned it with the passing. If there's any place for her to develop in those areas, it's South Carolina.
That's right. Yeah, what they're gonna do with, Kit's also. I mean, she was sort of over relied upon for obvious reasons in the Michigan game, but like, again, she's super young. You see flashes here and there of like, maybe not like Watkins or like, who was the last four they had there? But not Saxton. Whatever.
Aisha Wilson.
Touche. It's not like Ashlyn Watkins or like Camila Cardoso level of like, ooh, breakout flashes in terms of that level of ceiling, but it is like, hey, like this could be a real 45.
This is like a better version of what Amir was for them, kind of.
It's like what I want Nyla Harris to be.
But we'll get to our first ad break, and then we'll come back with some more names across college basketball. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get on the action in sports in over 30 states, including California, Florida, Georgia, and Texas. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, so that your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks keeps your lineup alive. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even have to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday each Tuesday. Prize Picks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value to your lineups. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You've also heard us talk a lot about FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get in the hunt of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play data, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets, guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet on FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com to get started. Before we move from the freshmen to some other upperclassmen across college basketball, a few names: Taj Roberts at Louisville, Kennedy Smith at USC. To start with Taj, what were your takeaways from her playing for this Louisville team? Like you mentioned with Michigan, these are probably the two teams that are relying the most on freshmen to like actually compete at a high major level, that are actually like very good.
So my biggest takeaway, first of all, is your beautiful pronunciation of Louisville. I think most people
it's Louisville.
It's Louisville. I don't know how
Nebraska,
people tend to have this
Louisville.
That's terrible.
In certain parts of North Carolina, it'd be Louisville, which is also incorrect. Anyway, speaking of which, Taj Roberts was super fun. I mean, obviously, like you were saying, they played a lot of freshmen in that game. Some of them played better than others.
I heard they have like 8 or 9 freshmen.
That doesn't surprise me. It's also really funny because Jeff Walz, he always obviously goes after a lot of prospects. His more recent freshman classes have generally tended to suck, which he has not explicitly said, but has been kind of clear, as you can tell from like ACC media days.
Watching him on the sideline.
Well, yes, but I mean, even before that, you can tell from ACC media days. Usually, they had a few top 100s a couple of years ago. You had Marissa Russell, Nyla Harris, who's actually good now. You had Zana Walker, who transferred out. You have another backup, I think, who went with her at K-State, who's also not that good. Anyway, and you can tell because you come in like, hey, you got like 4 top 30 freshmen. Like, you can use a lot of depth this season, and those seasons he's like, we're gonna figure out who works in the rotation. We're gonna mix and match. We're gonna experiment. And there's a little more confidence coming into this season than in those. And I think Taj Roberts is kind of paying that off. Honor, you can speak a little more to actually whether we can like imagine that shooting was real. But the downhill ability, the vision, I think the athleticism is so sweet with that, and it's just such smooth actions and the ability to read the court as quickly as she did. I think in that game, pretty sticky skills.
Yeah, I'm unsure on the shooting and will it stick. It's kind of funky in terms of like she shoots that ball like Chelsea Gray. It's like it can't fit in the frame. Like she. Everyone
knows the higher the arc, the more likely it is to go in.
That's true. But with Louisville's process, before we get into, not to like derail the conversation, but it is kind of a weird philosophy in the modern era to go for all freshmen, considering that if things go right with a couple of these players that are freshmen, the other players are just going to transfer out. Like I don't
Who's
really
going
understand.
to transfer at this point?
That's a fair point because it's like freshmen and like 3
It's
fifth years, and that's it.
Yeah, who's going to transfer out? Like Istan Baloglu?
Well, they're going to bring in more freshmen again.
Are they? They only brought in like one freshman last
Who
year.
knows what Jeff is going to do?
Who knows?
It's just very startling to be like Jalea Williams. Okay. Honestly, in watch, I made this comment in our group chat, but when it was like, oh, they're starting, I knew Williams to transfer there, Jalea Williams. She has fun flashes. Good defender. But it was funny watching her, and I was like, oh, Jalea Williams, so Roberts right next to her. Katie Meyer retired from Miami, so I'm like, okay, everyone else has transferred. Actually, a lot of people transferred. I know Latasha Lattimore transferred. That's not the point. Kyla Oldiker transferred. So I was like, okay, clearly Jasmine Roberts left Miami and went with Jalea Williams. I mean, Hunter, you like talking about like a freshman. I was like, who? Oh, must be coming off the bench. And I was like, wait, Jasmine Roberts can't do that. Oh, also before we get off freshman, we talk about the Finn.
The what?
The Finn.
The
Aaron
Finn.
Salo.
The who?
Aaron Salo.
Oh.
Finn, the Finnish player. The Finn.
We need to talk about Kennedy Smith as well at USC.
Yeah, but she wasn't like. She had, like
She was pretty.
She was okay.
She was.
She did some interesting
She had a very good
things.
first half. She had a very good first half.
It was a
Ole
fine
Miss is
first
a
half.
terrifying team to play in your first game of your career.
Oh,
my
this is a
God.
terrifying team to play. Period.
Yeah,
They're a
but especially
terrifying
in the
team to
first game of your
watch.
career.
No. They're not organizing team to watch.
I have a whole list of names to get through, and we are eating up time.
Rapid
Buddy,
fire.
you'll
Rapid
just-
fire.
To mention,
Buddy,
you want
we'll
me to-
just go
you
over
want
them
me
in
to
the group
rapid
chat
fire?
after this.
That's a great point. I will go through some rapid fire really quickly. Juju Watkins' defense, awesome.
It was awesome
The
last
two
year.
players,
Find a
yeah,
new slant.
flashes. She had 5 blocks.
Okay,
That's
and
new.
did she not do that last year?
She did. Michaela Timpson at Florida State is averaging 29 rebounds per 100 possessions right now. That's
Let's
funny.
go.
The two players who were the best player on their team in the first 2 top 25 upsets of the year, Kendall Bostic and Harmony Turner at Illinois and Harvard, respectively.
Harmony
Right.
Turner has always been this good and this far.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is one of the highest ranked
Reagan Beers is at a
recruits
3.
to go to a mid-major
Yeah, Reagan
and
Beers,
stay there.
very fun right now.
She's
In
a
this
3?
Oklahoma-Virginia game. She's had a couple of passes that have really caught my eye in the first quarter.
I would like to say
Potter
for the record that I
really
pointed out her
nicely.
passing last year. Just for
Yeah.
the record.
Okay. And Shadiman McKnight at Mississippi Valley State had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 9 steals in her first game of the year. And I think that just needs to be acknowledged. Also,
was
Sarah
lost.
Williams kept Wisconsin from losing to Wright State. So shout out to her. And Olivia Miles, triple-double. That's all I have to say. That's my list.
More like wrong state.
I have one more note before we get to segment 3. Tanaya Latson made 3 pull-up threes against North Florida. She made 4 all of last season.
That is
Interesting
notable.
development to watch there.
Are
yeah.
you not going to point out the freshman who plays in Piscataway?
No one wants to talk about Rutgers.
Hunter does. Hunter's the one man in the United States who wants to talk about Rutgers who isn't an Italian from North Jersey.
Gino doesn't want to talk about Rutgers either, though.
He's from
I'm pretty sure
Philly.
it's Kiami
No,
McMillan
they're not.
has the Kiami McMiller, 5-star freshman, number 22 recruit. She is, how tall are they ever listed at? 5'9", 5'8", 5'8", 5'9". Sickest crossovers, sickest handle in college basketball. It's like her and Fu Wiley.
Oh.
She's up there in terms of like what she can do with the ball. The advantage creation flashes are so fun already through her first couple games. The efficiency hasn't been great, but I mean, she's going to make plays, and that's fun to watch. Same with
If
Liv.
someone had a handle and good efficiency while playing for this Rutgers, I think they should go first in the draft.
Yeah, for sure.
Just
Same with
simple.
Liv. One more player is Liv McGill at Florida. their best player, Ali Matharu, transferred out before the season.
Like 3 days before the season.
Yeah, like right before the
And she's now
season.
with Baylor.
Not yet, at least.
She
She's
transferred like
supposed to
4
be.
times. Yeah. But for Liv, she is like kind of their main guard now. She's been starting the first couple games, played extremely well. Obviously, they haven't really played anyone, but someone that is interesting to watch as well. A lot of fun guards is kind of the theme. There's not many bigs, like true like 6'5" bigs in this freshman class, which is good for us, I guess. Bunch
Shout
of
out to
wings.
Florida for somehow having questionable head coaches at football, men's and women's basketball.
Yeah. But let's get to our final ad
Questionable
break.
can mean a lot of different things there.
Yeah,
Oh
question-
my.
Oh boy, it does. Oh boy, it does.
Many different variations of questionable.
Locked on Women's Basketball is brought to you by Stims for Men. So, look, Stims has been around for a long time. We've had it for women. Now, Stims is making underwear for men as well. Whatever size you're looking for, whether it's the cotton boxer brief, the stretch 5-inch boxer brief, there's even cotton 3-inch, stretch even Stims cotton brief. Period. Whatever you need in order to feel comfortable throughout your day, Stims has underwear for men that allow you to get it. Go ahead and shop Stims Men's at stims.com. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. And if you're looking for a perfect gift for the whole family, Stims just launched their biggest holiday shop ever, also available at stims.com.
Oh no.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Howard.
Howard.
Oh, why did I have to hear that?
You didn't have to.
I didn't think.
So we're here for segment 3, international players. I'm gonna let
Eurobasket qualifiers.
Eurobasket. It's actually crazy how we've had a major development in our little world here where y'all have been watching more international prospects than I have. This is a whole new development here. So
I love Eurobasket qualifiers.
Speaking of development, I wouldn't be able to if the developers I work with would just return my underwriting comments more frequently. Come on, guys, I'm trying to build housing here.
It's the middle of the day. There's 7 different basketball games going on with like 4 of the best players in the world randomly playing at 3:00 p.m. Central Time. It's great. It's all free on YouTube. Eurobasket qualifiers is the best time of the world. Like, if you want to go watch
So
Gabby
fun.
Williams obliterate shots, and you want to watch Alina Yagupova do terrible
Jess Shepherd.
things to players who should not be guarding Alina Yagupova. Jess Shepherd
Slovenian
putting
Jess
up
Shepherd.
29 points and 23 rebounds, Nebraska's finest.
Noted
Slovenians
Slovenians.
Yeah, noted Slovenia.
Out of Nebraska.
Out of Fremont,
That's why-
Nebraska.
That's why they call Lincoln Little Slovenia.
Yeah, exactly. Kalia Hilsman plays for the Bulgarian team now. You know, anything is possible when you really just kind of loosen the restrictions on who can play for who. But Ala Fam was so good in the game, the Spain game against the Netherlands. She's like the best big defender in Europe. She's the most versatile big defender
Yes.
in Europe at 18.
Like, flat out.
Wait,
It's
how old is she?
absurd. She is
She's 18.
18 years old.
18?
Yes.
I can't tell if you're doing a bit
2024.
here.
Her birthday, I don't know why I memorized this. I'm fairly certain that her birthday is June 19th, 2006. So she doesn't turn
That's kinda
19
weird,
for
dude.
another. That's how my brain works. I'm so sorry. 9 months from now, she will turn 19 years old. And she's already, like, maybe the best mobile big defender in Europe.
Do
She
you
was just covering so much ground.
do you remember whenever Spain didn't take her on their Olympic roster and they took
Yeah, we were pissed. Megan Gustafson!
Ala Fam with an efficient 14 points.
Megan
10
Gustafson
rebounds
and
yesterday.
Pankake.
it was actually good though because instead we got to watch Awa We got to watch Awa be the best player at
U19s.
U18s
Yeah, it was
and
so fun.
U20s.
Just obliterate the hell out of everyone.
She was just hooping like 3 different tournaments. Like,
And somehow she's still a backup to Maya freaking Dodson.
Yeah.
she's backing up now?
She's always been a backup this season since Dodson came
No,
over.
the first game she was starting.
Yeah, Dodson didn't play that. Oh no, right. Every game since she's been the backup.
Damn.
Yeah.
I love contract. I love contract politics in Europe.
Yeah.
Second best politics in Europe.
You're right behind the EU. Our fam does things that
Just ahead of
18-year-old kids
Parliament.
should not do. Like the way that she's covering ball screens is absurd. She's getting deflections on hedges. She's like defending the ball handler and the roller and drop. She is just all over the place. Em's like 4 seconds ahead of me, so I can watch her reactions and see when something interesting is going to happen. It's very funny.
It's been a strangely not that interesting game for a game that is fairly high scoring.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
our fam
that's interesting.
on most good French and Spanish teams like would still be their best defender at the 2 if they just like had her guard only 2 guards. She's legitimately switchable 2 through 5 on top of having like preternatural rotation ability.
6'6", long arms,
Oh God.
moves so well.
And how often do we see players who are even like 2 grades lower as rim protectors who are this good at not fouling? Like Leah Boston was not this good at not fouling like at any point until she was a senior. Also, she can destroy people with dream shakes now. She has a dream shake now.
She's been doing that for a minute.
No, I know she's been doing it for a minute, but like against like
She
real
also-
players.
She's like she's like rapidly adding counters. Like she had that spin move. Now she's like adding a bunch of like hook shots and a bunch of like
Her development
crazy.
arc is insane. The passing somehow keeps getting better.
She's like the second or third best passer on the Spanish national team at Eurobasket qualifiers. Like
As an 18-year-old center.
it's Maria Conde, and then her and Cazorla, and it's just she does everything so well.
So she is flat out, like, without a doubt, the best passing center prospect of all time, right? It's like her and then a distant second is Tina Charles, who was
Wasn't
to be fair,
Depends on how you
a very
feel about the
legitimate.
2005 Minnesota team.
Yeah, there was someone on Minnesota. I remember.
Oh, you're talking about
Better
Janelle
name.
McCarville.
Yeah,
God, I
Yeah.
love remembering some gals.
Yeah.
But also-
that's New York Liberty
McCarville
legend
was
Janelle
throwing
McCarville.
dimes.
She was. That's fair. Okay, LFM 1, McCarville 2.
but the difference is, and what I think makes Awa a more valuable passer is like drawing a bunch of doubles and like what she can do offensively. Like,
Awa's
just the
self-creation.
gravity.
I think it's also the
Several
fact that she's
levels.
throwing one-handed skips off the dribble.
Yeah. McCarville also was notably not a very good defender.
She was not very good at a lot of things.
Awa
But she could
fam,
throw those passes.
good.
No, dude. Okay, I like McCarville as a player. I think she was a
Oh, yeah,
genuinely
she's-
underrated player, to be
For
clear.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, it's not a
Yep. We could do every episode from now until the 2026 draft about Awa fam.
We could do
We
every
brought up-
episode from now until we're all forced to flee this country on our fam.
We brought up Awa in an episode like a year ago, and we had her at the honorable mentions on our best prospects of all time.
And we would have had her hired.
she
We
was
just needed more
17.
tape.
She was like 17. We're just like,
Yeah,
wait, we're not
we-
going to rank her at 17.
Yeah, we well, no,
3
we could
years
have.
from being draft
We ju-
eligible.
We could have. We just like had like 3 games in which she looked like an 8 and like nothing else against like real competition.
Yeah, she had 3 games. Yeah, U19s.
Reagan Beers has a double-double. There's 38 minutes left. Or 28 minutes left.
Virginia just has nothing for Reagan Beers. They don't have anything.
Virginia's like only player with actual height is Lauterbach, who was the backup to Ayoka Lee for a couple of years. It doesn't
I
work.
knew that. Yes, yeah. Fun times at K-State. Is their second tallest player Paris Clark?
Oh Jesus Christ! It's not,
might
but that would
be.
be. No, it's not, but that would be funny.
I don't know.
Paris Clark's like 6 foot.
We're really good at staying on topic.
Who cares? It's the Saturday
Yosite,
podcast.
Lithuania.
You stay Yosite.
Belgium. Yosite. Yeah. Shout out to being reportedly, per her Wikipedia page, born in Washington, D.C., keeping her from being eligible for this draft because of the language of the WNBA.
We're not sure.
Because of
the
Nebraska.
WNBA.
We don't
Nebraska's
not
fault.
sure.
She was born in D.C. That's not the fault of her father playing at Bellevue Community College in 1994.
What if you just wait another 2 years to have a kid?
That's what I'm saying.
If we waited another 2 years to have a kid, then the Chicago Sky could pass on her at number 4, and we could all go.
Yosite is an absurd passer.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
She does crazy things with the ball. She just creates looks. It's great. Very fun to watch.
She's also 6
Expert
foot
analysis.
and plays the 1.
Yeah. Big guard, mid-range pull-ups, smooth lefty. Is this James Harden? Who knows?
No, because James Harden was fast and could get to the rim.
Who knows?
And could shoot threes.
Who knows?
She can't do any of those things.
You never know.
Also, James Harden was a legitimately better defender. Here's the thing. If you just watched Yosite in the second half, you'd be like, holy shit, this is one of the best players I've ever watched. If you just watched it in the first half, you legitimately would not know who we're talking about because she was terrible in that first half.
That's adjustments.
Well, here's the thing. It happens in every game. It's generally
That's
not
consistency.
That extreme. It's generally just like a fine player in the first half, and then just imposes her will in the second. I don't understand that this happens in every game. This has happened since she was 15. I don't get it.
The hope there was she grows out of it.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years. She hasn't grown into anything.
She's barely played the last couple years though.
Yeah, that hip injury is
she missed a year and a half.
Problem.
She missed
a lot. You can find the tape from her EuroLeague debut when she was 13 and 250 days or whatever.
I've been watching her for her 15th birthday. It's the same player, which is both good and bad. This is the Alyssa Cunane kind of thing. It was sick when you were 19, but
when you're 24, please do something else.
Do anything else. I need some level of developmental arc here, please.
It was crazy though. She was
All of him's developmental arc is insane.
Yeah.
She was a 50. So she was a 50 grade prospect at 15, and has been the same prospect since.
Legitimately, yes.
But 50 grade at 15 was more like an 80 grade. She was great, all time great,
Yeah.
Luka Doncic level, international 50.
I mean, she's still sick.
But production wise, she hasn't been for her age group at least.
It's a nice looking 3-pointer.
But she's good. And
please just if she just can show some level of improvement, I'll give her a freaking 7. I just don't know if she can.
That's why it may benefit her from being a 2027 prospect, just so we have more of a sample size. Because if she doesn't improve on those things, like you said, with her not being a 4-quarter player, then if she's 22, a regular college prospect, and she's still doing that same thing, and she's not improved as a 3-point shooter, with actual volume, then it's okay, we know what we're getting here.
I mostly agree, but I will just play devil's advocate here. If she was eligible this year, then you'd have a team like the Lynx picking her in the late second round.
That'd be sick. Yeah.
Lynx, Liberty, wherever Mike Tebow ends up, you get the point. Possibly with Kurt there now, Dallas, and so you would have a team saying hey, they reach out to her agent and go, hey, we think she should work on X and Y the next year. And maybe
hang out for a couple of years. Yeah.
Kind of it's kind of like having someone in the G League, you kind of just development over
the G League of Asvel.
Tony Parker Academy.
Yeah, they're broke. That's a problem.